Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's paper crafting video, I am making 3 cards with Kendra's Card Challenge. This is part of a hop with the super sponsor, Hero Arts, that is sponsoring the Kendra's Card Challenge for this quarter. So I am making 3 cards, like I said, using Hero Arts products and Kendra's Card Challenge number 14. Here it is, right here, printed out. There are 6 different pieces of 6x6 paper in here shown how to cut them into different configurations. And then there's also 15 card sketches in here that shows you how to use those pieces you just cut. It is so cool. It takes the guesswork out of it. It's very inspiring, and I think it's a ton of fun. I did Kendra's Card Challenge number 13, and I used the sketches here multiple times as a source of inspiration, and I just had so much fun with it. So when they asked me to guest design and partake in this hop, I was all in. Plus, Hero Arts has some really cool things, and I was happy to do that. Now, you can play along with this challenge. There is a link to how to play along below, where you can share the cards that you've made with Kendra's Card Challenge and win some of the prizes from the sponsors, which are shown here, but also the super sponsor of Hero Arts. So here are some Hero Arts products that I am using today. I purchased a digital paper pack from them and printed these out in 6x6 size onto some lightweight cardstock. Then I'm just going to trim these down so they are actually 6x6, and that's going to allow me to use my paper trimmer and trim these down according to the little cutting maps, I'm going to call them, in Kendra's Card Challenge. So there's the 4 pieces I'm using. One of these actually is designed around the Easy Wonder die created by Lynn of LV Handcrafted. And so I did that with the blue piece here. And then I'm going to take the green piece, I'm going to cut it as you see here on paper number 3, or set C, pattern C, I guess. So I'm just going to speed this up. But what I want you to know, when you're following along in the challenge or the PDF file, wherever the scissors are on that particular piece of paper, that's where you start cutting. There's also arrows on there to show you the direction the paper will be at the top of the card. So if you have a directional paper, that can really help you as well know which way to turn your paper and cut it. All right, so here's the paper I am using for A, and I'm just going to show you the papers I'm using and a few little tips. So this one has some like interesting cuts, but it shows you the size of each of those pieces. So I went in and used my pencil and made a little mark and drew some lines that were going to help me when I took this to my paper cutter so I could get these fun shapes. Now there's 2 you can see that they're identical, and because this is lightweight cardstock, I just picked up both and cut them at the same time, and that was really helpful. So that's how I got those fun shapes. Now, not all of these things am I going to use today because I'm not making all 15 cards. I'm only doing 3, but I just wanted you to kind of get a feel for how I decided to do Kendra's Card Challenge. So I had 4 pieces of pattern paper. Now I'm going to make my own pattern paper. I have that background stamp that you saw there that's so cool, like a little map. I'm going to link all these things for you in the description box below so you can check out the supplies I used for yourself when you want or if you're interested. And I'm going to stamp this onto a piece of paper that actually is a gel press print. So I made that myself, and I thought this would make kind of a really cool old maybe looking map. So there you have it. It is pretty cool. I think it would be more cool to use exactly like it is. And then this piece of paper was actually a shaving cream background. I have a really cool video on shaving cream and like a different way to do that for your cards to make backgrounds. So I'll link that for you at the end of this video. Okay, next I am showing you, I put all the A pieces in one bag, B pieces, C pieces, and I just labeled them with a post-it note. Then I can have all those bags to the side, and I brought out 15 clear envelopes. I'm labeling each of these with a number, and that corresponds to the card sketches. Then I can sort out all the pieces that I've cut based on the sketches and put them into that envelope, and everything's ready to go. So even if I don't make the card today, I can grab that envelope, take out my PDF tutorial and follow along, and I've got everything needed as far as the cut pieces from my pattern paper. Now there are other pieces that you'll probably need to cut to make a card, and we'll go over that right now as we jump into making card sketch number 5. Here's the stamp set I'm using. I fell in love with the stamp set because it has little stamps in it that look like patches, and I collect patches from my travels to like state parks, national parks, monuments. I love them. So I had to have it. Here I am stenciling out a background with some Distress Oxide ink. You can see the colors there on the screen, but it is carved pumpkin, mustard seed, gathered twigs, and ooh, some peacock feathers. I thought these colors were really fun. Reminded me of kind of that feel of national parks and patches that I've gotten. So I spritzed off my stencil to clean it off and thought, you know what, we might as well lay a piece of paper on there, pick up some ink, and make another background. I'm going to save this. I didn't use it in today's video, but I had to show that because I thought it turned out rather cool. So see here I have an oval piece. This is an additional piece you can add, and anytime there's something on one of these card sketches that just doesn't work with the products you're using, it is totally up to you to kind of change that and tweak it and make it work for you. These sketches are an inspiration and kind of a jumping off point. So I have taken the little patch there that it looks like Yosemite. I think the cliff there or mountain you can climb is called El Capitan. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but that's what it reminded me of. So I did some ink blending over the top of that using the same colors I used for the stenciled background. And then I'm fussy cutting around this. There is no die set for it. So I was brave and just cut it out. Then I'm stamping Stay Wild there at the bottom. I thought I would try this frayed burlap archival ink on my vellum. That's how it turned out. But I stuck with it. I kind of had to, unless I wanted to redo it. And I'm all about just, you know, moving forward. Keep going with your card, even if you don't love something. So I am now attaching all the pieces. There you can see that pattern paper from the Easy Wonder die that was in the sketch. I glued that down, and all of my pieces are a little bit shifted to the right than the sketch instead of more centered like it is on the sketch. And then I added some embellishments. Now they're in the sketch. There's another circle there at the bottom for your sentiment. I stamped mine on the oval. I also, instead of those extra circles, I embellished it with some confetti pieces. So that completes my first card. And now we're going to move on to card sketch number 11. You can see what it looks like right here. And I have the pieces ready to go. Plus I cut out the extra things, the strips on the ends and the like the background I'm going to put it onto. I stamped out another patch, as I'm calling them, the one with the lighthouse, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of the Copic coloring on this one. It's a really small image, and I always find those pretty easy to color. You don't have to use a lot of markers. 2 usually works really well, I find, and I like this one because you've got, you know, just those natural colors, the gray, the blue of the water. There's a little whale in there, which I love. And I will say I have recently been to a place where there was a lighthouse. We went to the Redwood Forest, which is on the coast of California, and saw a lighthouse or 2 there. And that was a really great trip. And we've also been to the Tetons. So I have patches from both of those places. And we have plans to go to another national park this summer. We like to RV. It's so fun. It's a really good time. So there is my patch all colored out. I fussy cut that one, and I happen to have this extra banner from the Easy Wonder die in the pouch with my Easy Wonder die left over from a previous video. I actually have 2 other videos with the Easy Wonder die, so if you're interested in that die that cuts out your 6x6 paper for you, I will have those linked for you in the description box below. You can check out both of those videos. I splattered this with a little bit of white because I felt like it, I don't know, just the image of the waves crashing against the rocks. I thought it needed a little splatter. I hooked my 3 pieces together, which you can tell are not 3 circles, which is what is in the sketch, I feel that that's okay. I also trimmed down my card front panel so I could have a white border all the way around of my card base. Next, I am adding some seashells as embellishments there. Instead of those extra little circles on the outside, I added the embellishment. So that completes this card. I think I really like the sentiment on that banner piece, and it ended up matching really well with the other colors in my card. So there you have my second card, which is sketch number 11. All right, let's move on to sketch number 12, also using pieces from the Easy Wonder die. I just went through and picked sketches that when I looked at them, I was like, oh, I'll use this. You know what I mean? So that's why I randomly chose these three. I will make some others. I have an idea for a fourth card already. So with these products, I really wanted to include it in today's video, but it's a hop and I didn't want to make it super long, and I already felt really compelled to put all three cards in this video. So we'll save that for another time. I am using another stencil from this kind of outdoorsy collection from Hero Arts, and this one creates like a mountain scene. So I'm just using some Distress Oxides, different colors of blue to create the mountains at the top. And I will say, in hindsight, I think I would have maybe traced out my circle, stenciled it, and then die cut it, because it is a little bit wonky in the end. Like my trees look a little leany, but you know, that does happen in real life. So I went with it. Again, I just went with it. It's handmade. I made it. I enjoyed doing it. So I'm going to stick with it. All right, I used some peacock feathers for these trees because I have peacock feather kind of colored paper in my little pieces that are going to go with this card. But then I felt like I needed another layer, so I tried to offset the trees, and they're like just barely offset, and did Lucky Clover. And then for my trees that are going to be in the foreground, I have two of them. I'm using Rustic Wilderness. So all those shades of green I think is so pretty paired with the shades of blue. Okay, we also have this die that creates 3 bears. I'm going to use the 2 little ones and like a tree scene, but I'm only using the little bears. They worked perfect for my scene. And then I am stamping Adventure Awaits from the stamp set, and then we're going to put all the things together. So for my background, I wanted to use this wood grain paper, but I did not want to waste the center of it. You know, I can't waste paper. So I cut it out with a rectangle die, and then I'm going to put all my pieces together. You can see my largest piece of pattern paper there has a matte. I love that in black. It really kind of draws your eye into the center and that focal image. And then I'm just gluing everything together. I popped up the circle that has the bears and the sentiment. And now in the sketch, that banner is going to go behind the circle, but my sentiment was too long. I couldn't do it. So for the embellishments, which are on the sketch, I use these black-eyed pearls. And then also, you may have already noticed, I turned the sketch on its side. It just seemed to work better for my pattern paper because I didn't pay attention to the direction when I cut it. And it also works on its side. So feel free to make these little tweaks when you're playing with the challenge, and you know, kind of let your card lead you where it wants to go, which is what happened with me. So there's all 3 of my cards. I love these Hero Arts products and how they work together. And now I'm going to save my cards that I have yet to have made. Also, those bags that I labeled ABCD, my Kendra's Card Challenge, and I can reuse those envelopes and those bags the next time I do Kendra's Card Challenge and keep them in that little zipper pouch. And you know, when I need a card, I can easily grab one of those out and start creating, and a lot of the thought process has already been done, so it'll make it quick and easy. So thank you for stopping by. Make sure you check out the link below to enter the giveaway for today's hop. A little form to fill out, and the winner will be announced on the Kendra's Card Challenge community tab here on YouTube. There's also a link to the playlist with all the stops on today's hop, so make sure you go check that out for even more inspiration with Kendra's Card Challenge number 14. Happy stamping! Bye!